Okay, so every now and again, I start working on a car and get to a point where I'm either stuck or I'm in the middle of a diagnosis, and then I bring you guys in. I figure I'll let you guys start with me where I'm at. I have no idea what I'm looking at. It's a 2000 and I want to say 11 Chevy Malibu. Customer's complaint that intermittently she loses power steering. There's some warning messages that come up here in the multi information display here. I don't know what Chevy calls it, but so we got a power steering fault there, and then something about ESC, which I'm going to guess is electronic stability control. We got some airbag SRS inflators 2 codes, right? So this one, the first code I have here is for the control module communication bus off. Okay, so don't know exactly what that's about. Let's get out of here. Didn't mean to save that. Get out. All right, let's escape. And then we go back to, hope it doesn't start reading all over again. All right, page down to supplemental restraints. Probably gonna have an open in the, so here's what I'm hoping, be something simple, like the cable roll, clock spring, whatever here, if that has an issue. Driver's passenger seatbelt, nope, passenger seatbelt. So we have a passenger seatbelt anchor pretensioner, so that's the buckle. Yeah, the buckle. Anchor pretensioner. So it passed last test though. Wait, hold on. This is current. Since clear, not run. Last test failed. Current. All right, so we've got a buckle issue there. All right. This is what I'm curious about, because I'm going to assume that the ability control is paused because of faults in let's see what it says. It's got 6 codes though, so I'd hate for all of them to be either temporary, pending, or duplicates. System disabled, information stored, invalid serial data received. Okay. System disabled, information stored. All right. Wait, system disabled. So the ESC is disabled because there's an issue. Lost communication. So that's the bus being off. Lost the bus being off. The steering angle sensor module. Okay. Last test passed, which is why I had power steering coming into the garage. No. All right, and then so steering angle sensor module, and then lost communication. So the bus being off that the PCM reported, that's a lot of these. But I wonder if it started with this guy. Last test did pass, so as of the time I'm driving it, right? Since clear history. All right, let's get out of here. And let's go see what the power steering itself says is wrong with it. Okay. Can we get in here? All right. Steering wheel torque sensor input. I hate this code because if I'm not mistaken, I got to look at how this is built. On some manufacturers, I guess if this is electric power steering, I'm going to assume it is. I haven't looked. But on some manufacturers, the assist motor, the electric motor, is on the column. On some, it's on the rack. On some, it's a hydraulic system whose pump is electric. So I got to look and see which system I'm dealing with here. Regardless, the input that tells it how much assist to give, the torque input sensor, last test failed. That's current. This ignition failed. Since clear, past history. I don't understand what that means. But anyway, yeesh. All right, let's go see where this torque sensor is. What's that number there? I gotta look at that. What that say? Stop focus. C0545. All right, so gonna do a little bit of research and bring you guys back when I know more. Hey, 0.7. That's good. 0.8. 0.9. status. All right. All right, so just wanted to give you guys a view of what I'm looking at here, and I can't see the vid. Hang on. What is 8, 10? Yeah, this is 11. So it's an 11 Malibu, 4-cylinder with the big what? The big 2.4. Shout out to the man with the master plan. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's a really small, spindly little steering rack. For such a noisome problem. Let's see if I can see it. What are you looking at? It looks like a U-joint. Okay, into a regular mechanical rack, which is great. The rest of the U-joint, but I don't think my torque sensor is down there. Like I said, I haven't even looked at this system yet. I'm just trying to gather some information, but let's go in here. Take a look. I gotta figure out where stuff is. You guys can see better than I can. All this plastic. Crap. Gotta take all this off. So I'm wondering if the motor's up here. Why won't it autofocus? And what am I looking at? So that's my, wait a minute. I can't see what I'm looking. Okay, there's my steering shaft. Another U-joint. Yeah, I need to be down there to look and see what I'm going to see. All right, let me put my head down there. All right, so I looked up there and what I think is a motor or actuator or whatever you want to call it. The assist, power assist. What would you call it? Actuator, I guess. Seems to be on the column here, so I'm going to go look into the problem and see what we need. Okay, so I'm back at the Malibu now, and so I kind of did a little digging. Apparently, this is not an uncommon issue for these Malibus. The steering wheel kind of vibrating and going berserk. However, very few of my symptoms, my other symptoms, are coincidental with that failure. And so I do have a DTC for what's this one? Okay, so this one is from the ABS system, I believe. Let me get out of here. But the code I have, yeah, electronic brake control module. Okay, so those codes, losing contact with a bus or with other control modules. Not really sure if we're dealing with something different here, especially since the gauges started acting out. Even the security system module seemed to go on the fritz and wouldn't let the car start. But with this one, I think the C0, yeah, this code right here is common cause of that problem that we were having, and it appears to be caused by a torque sensor that's in this steering column. So I think what I will opt to do here is I may just check in. I don't know which two are have the terminals for the bus in them. From what I've seen, you can check the integrity of the bus itself, its resistance, down here at the power steering control module, or the module here, and at the electronic brake control module up there. What else? What am I thinking? We could do that. I could put a scope on the signal wires, and then just watch what kind of bus signal I have. I won't be able to interpret it, but just see if I have good comms when I have that failure. See if the bus goes away. It might just be a timeout signal when, I guess, the brake control module goes offline and whatever failure that's causing the power steering control module to suspend operation. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the integrity of the bus, see its resistance, make sure that the terminating resistance. See, it's so intermittent that I don't really, because we don't have it now. All right, no code's here now. All right, and all I have to do is, yeah, get in there to where the torque, I guess, is not proportional to what the response is. And you know what? I have power steering. I'm gonna move this right now. What's interesting is I have a check engine light now. I don't know what that noise was. All right, let me just do another round of, we got our ESC off again. And this thing is chattering away while I'm holding it here, but I still have power steering. I don't know why the ESC went off without the power steering triggering it now. That's interesting. Whatever, it's gone. No assist now. Let me see if I can bring it back. Cycle off. Cycle on. Cycle off. Cycle on. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to how many times I cycle it. I'm just doing that. Alright. I have assist. I don't know for how long. It's saying service ESC. And ESC is off. I have assist. I'm losing it. I've lost it. Alright, so no assist now. Alright. Anyway. Okay, we're back. 2011 Chevy Malibu, presented with intermittent loss of power steering. It's an electric power steering system, and when you would lose power assist, you would get messages on the dash referencing power steering and the ESC, okay, service ESC. All right, so pulling DTCs, we find codes for ESC pause because of some invalid data, and then you look into the electric power steering system and you find a code C0545, which basically references a steering wheel torque input sensor malfunction. Now, this could be a circuit malfunction. It could be a few things. In addition to this code, we have several communication codes across other systems. I do believe the vehicle has more than one problem. But the loss of power assist, especially on this car, makes the steering wheel extremely heavy, like, you know, virtually unsteerable at a stop, okay, or close to it. So apparently that's a common problem with Chevys of the Malibus of this vintage, and there is a common fix. It's even noted in a service bulletin, a Chevy service bulletin. Okay, so we're going to apply that fix and then recheck the power assist problem and see if that's addressed it. Okay, so let's show you what we're putting on here. All right, so this is a torque input sensor. All right, AC Delco. Let's open it and see what's inside. Unboxing has never been so delicate. Okay. Now, this is a very fragile component. I'm going to give credit to a couple of channels who I kind of went to. I got online and got the information on, I believe this is an alignment tool to make sure that the sensor is in to the correct depth and aligned correctly. So we'll keep that. There's another bag in here. All right, so according to the instructions in the service manual, there is bolt that gets replaced down at the base of the intermediate shaft, where the U-joints are before they leave the cabin. You take that, discard that bolt, replace it with this. There is this little absorbent ring here that goes on the shaft to prevent grease from getting down into the sensor. And I do believe that this cap here is to cover the joint where the harness's wire comes out of the steering column. Here's our like I said, I'm really nervous to take this out because everything that I've read about it, that is extremely delicate. All right, so that's our sensor there. Okay. So apparently the fix, the diagnostic fix, once you have this code, was to replace the steering column assembly. And I'll show you exactly what they're talking about there. But I guess after a slew of columns having to be replaced, all of a sudden the defective component became serviceable. And this part number comes directly from that bulletin. And so did the procedure to replace the sensor itself. So, like I said, I did look up the instructions. You're supposed to remove the whole kit and caboodle and replace the column. But according to the bulletin, now you disassemble the column and yeah, but you still have to take it all out. So what we're going to do, like I said, thanks to, I want to say it's Ainoy Sikal. I'm sure I'm butchering that name. It's Ainoy Sykow. Yeah. His was one of the most instrumental in what we're going to do today. Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics had one that he also diagnosed. I'm not sure that he ever effected the repair on that one. And there's also Hoopty's Garage. He also was instrumental in guiding me through some of the hidden fasteners. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start. I do believe we don't need too many tools. Metric, 7mm and 13, I think, is as far as we're going to go. So let me get down in position here and we'll start. All right, first things first, here's the battle plan so everybody can kind of follow along. This trim panel on the side there pops out. So does this trim panel down here. So let's delicately do those two now. Little pry tool here. Okay. Do this one. And you can see the retainers pops out easily. Put that in the passenger seat. Okay. Now I want you to keep an eye on a couple of things here. These are your 7mm that hold this guy from the top. There's several as we go along. Actually, before I forget, let's remove this guy. This is a harness, I don't know, like clip or whatever. It's like a Christmas tree style. It just zips in. So let's get that out the way before we start struggling with it later. Okay, so that's just out of that bottom hole. We'll put that in later. Let's pry this guy out. Don't know if I can reach it from underneath. Yeah, easy enough. Okay. The back here has got tongues that go in there, so beware of that. Okay, so we don't have to fight this later. I will let you in on a little known secret. This panel has to come off next. Okay, and it has screws like I showed you there. There are a couple. Actually, that's not the panel that comes off next. The under panel here comes off next, and it's retained, all right, by two screws there and clips. Those screws also retain this, but this panel has a hidden screw somewhere in here. I don't know where it is yet, but to get to it, this trim piece has to come up. So you pry it up back here, easy enough, comes up, and it slides back. All right, now the thing about it is, in park, obviously it's not going to, so apply the e-brake. Okay, turn the ignition on, and let's do that. All right, I'm gonna press the brake down there and shift it out of park. Okay, that gives me enough room. I'm just going to turn the ignition off, but it'll stay an accessory. It's not going to go completely asleep. And there's our hidden bolt. Okay, so you get that bolt out. Let's get these bolts out now. Over here, 7mm. Okay. All right, so all right, and then let's get the, oh, come on, really? Okay, any other time you want a socket to stay on a swivel or something, they enjoy flying off, but now. All right, so let's get that guy there. Get you guys in here so you can see. All right, so that guy there. That guy there. Where is it? All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so now that we've got those two out, we'll pull this guy down. It's got clips, kind of like everything else in here, but it's also retained at the back. Okay. What's holding it? Something's holding it. Gonna have to look under there. What's holding it? Feels like a harness clip. Yep, just like that. Will I need pliers here? Let's see if I need needleless pliers. If I can just pinch and push. Yes, pinch and push. All right, so second trim piece. Actually, third, doesn't count. Fourth. All right, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's get this hidden bolt out of here. All right. My luck, it's going to fall down some crevice here, never to be seen or heard from again. All right, so I get that it's hidden over there. I don't understand how it's supposed to come out though now. Something's telling me that I might have to undo this bolt here. And that doesn't look like a 7. This looks pretty rigid right here. Actually, there's one beneath it, another 7. Maybe I can get some flexibility out of this corner. Let's try it. Okay. All right. Nope. I don't know. All right, we'll cross that bridge in a minute. Let's start to peel this guy back, because we have to disconnect some of these connectors. Have to disconnect like that guy there. Let's see. I believe it's the illumination. All right. Okay. All right, so it just basically pops free. I don't know that I can get the key out with the car not in park. I think if I slide this into park now, let's see if I can trick it, get the key out. No. All right, well, I don't need that yet because I still need to get this corner out. Let me finagle this and okay, pops. Oh, okay, not too hard. All right, so this just popped off just now. All right. Oh, I see what happened here. So there's a dowel that comes from the back, I guess. This little cross-section thing here, and they both slide over it. So slid this back and it popped away. I'm gonna have to slide that forward. I think the trim piece here goes to the face of the radio. Let's see if it'll let me out. Don't know why I didn't keep you guys long. It just pops like that. Yeah, pops out a little bit. And then we raise this guy off to the side. We might be able to do this here with one hand. I don't know. I'm a little nervous here. Okay. All right. Everybody's yelling. Everybody's screaming. Crackle, snap, pop. in your evening. All right, any other harnesses? Yes. This one down here, which is the DLC. I do believe that's the whole thing too. So let me look at how that comes out of there. Maybe we leave it there. I don't know. No, I want it out the way. Let me see if I can move that. All right, so it appears. I'm not doing it yet. I just saw it and I said, okay, there's no point in turning the light off again. If you look right there, that looks like it's a retainer. Slides up and captures the DLC. And so just pull that down and out. All right, so our trim piece should come out of our way now. Okay, let's see if there's something else over there. Last thing I need is to pull any. Yeah, it's a little. Okay. All right, it's off and out. So where are we now? What's the count? 5 trim pieces. All right, so that guy's gone. Now this knee bolster here. All right, gotta get that out the way. All right, same 7 millimeters. All right, looks like a little hooks on it. Yeah, there's little hooks going to holes on there, and then you push it up and bolt it down. Okay. All right, so let's lower the. So I'm going to start disconnecting connectors next. All right, and so use the tilt block, release it, bring the steering down a little bit, and then pop. They say the steering covers pop loose. I don't know how that is, so I'm going to try that here. Make sure there are no screws. Let me look around. Yeah, wouldn't you know it? Guess what's under here? 3 7s. 21. All right, let's get them out. All right, so now that that's loose, I still haven't figured out how the top separates now. If it's kind of like other manufacturers, you can usually get to press on where the locks are and they'll separate like a clamshell. Let me make sure that there's no other secret fasteners. Okay, so yes, it does slide pop free. There are no screws or anything else up here. It looks like you press this corner in, press this, so you would start here, I guess. Press this in to release this lock. Press back here in to remove that little peg from the corner. And do that on the other side. All right, so top piece is number 6. Let's see if the bottom piece. Come on. Right. Oh, come on. Okay, so now we're going to start disconnecting connectors. I think now that I have my trim pieces out the way, I'm going to put this in park. All right, and then, all right, now I can shut the ignition system off. All right, I don't want any more work for myself than I absolutely have to have, so I'm going to lock the steering in the low position there, and then start removing these connectors. Now, I'm not sure how they come off. I do know that a lot of these are locks, so let me figure out some of these. But I do know that one of the important ones that I don't want to fight later is the actual torque sensor connector down there. So let's take a look at that. So the steering column is this whole contraption from here on back, okay? And the bolt that gets replaced is under there. So remove that boot, and I think it's under there. Or is it right here? I can't really. Oh, there it is. Sorry. It's right here. So take that bolt out. That's the one that gets replaced. The control unit is part of this motor assembly here. that bolts onto the side. Okay, so the column here was the old repair recommendation, but our sensor lives back there. Okay, so you can see, you take that snap ring out and this shaft here comes out the way, but right now we still have a connector back there to pull. I don't even know if I see it. Okay, I see a gray wire harness that goes back there somewhere. I gotta find it. Okay, because the last thing I need is to be at the point of replacement here and be stuck. But in the interim, let's find out how these connectors up here come off. All right, so not really rocket science, just if you're used to it, you're used to it. So this is the only one that was kind of tricky. This didn't really seem like a lock. It was kind of in there real good, but it is. The others, all you got to do is lift this little, where are we here? You lift up this little tang right here. All right, on all of them, goes behind and locks in that nub. So that's how they are. This one is a conventional push tang, but it didn't have a lock. This one has a lock, and it looks like because it's a SRX. So anyway, that should push down now. That should push down now and come out. It should. Let's see if I have any luck. It feels like it pushed down. Let me get it out of there. Yeah, just probably has never been moved and didn't want to play nice. Anyway, so that pushes down. Focus. All right, so that pushes down and slides out. All right, so here's where the magic happens. Let's look around, make sure all our harnesses are unplugged. Disconnect them and move them away from here. Separate you. There's a little harness hanger thingy here. I guess that just secures the harness, keeps it from flopping around. All right, so here's where the magic's gonna happen. Let's go down there and look at the prescribed way to do this. I'm saying prescribed way because I'm going to flat rate this. Now, understand, before you attempt this method, make sure your steering wheel, all right, loose in the middle, dead straight ahead, okay? And once you've done this, and you have to remove the steering, separate the column. And so when you do that, do not turn this, because you're taking the cable reel clock spring, whatever you want to call it, it's right back in there, and it's indexed with only a finite number of turns left and right. These number of turns is more than the lock-to-lock number of turns, so you don't risk damaging it in normal operation. But once you remove that constraint, the constraint of the rack, you could easily damage that, and that's not something I feel like replacing anyway. So here's the prescribed method. You go down here, raise this up out of my way. All right. So here's what you normally have to do. You would come down here, and there is a long bolt that goes right there. All right, support hanging bolt. All right, it goes through. I think it comes all the way out to that side where it's constrained by a nut, which is kind of cool. All right. Yes, and then I think, all right, so while I'm here, let's not forget, I'm trying to take that connector out. Hold on. All right, where we'll here. So that's the power stand control end over there. What else am I looking at? So this is the motor assembly, and it bolts into the e-torques, I guess. Bolts into the column here, okay? So I'm going to disconnect that sensor over there. I think it has a lock too. Yes, much friendlier. Oh, okay. Thought it was friendly until it started shooting at me. All right. Push and pull. There you go. So we should be good there. All right. So what we're not going to do is we're not going to take that bolt out. up here are two 13s. All right, for the energy absorption kind of part of the column here. And we're just going to remove those, tilt this down, release the lock, all right, the telescoping lock, or the tilt lock. And we're going to slide all of this off now. Okay, so let me get two 13s. Get these two 13s out, and then we're going to slide this away. Action. All right, let's see what I can do here with one hand. All right, it's not on too tight. Let's do the other one. I can't see. All right. Okay, one down. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna slide this, let this down a little bit. Like I said, the tilt is still locked on there, but I think I've got to release that and then slide this off. This is what we're looking like. I'm not sure if that has to be released or not. Let me try it without and see what happens. Yeah, I don't have to. All right, so like I said before, do your best. The seat's all the way back for me now, so I'm going to use two hands and try and get this off and then bring you guys back when I slid it off. All right, there she is. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up something for it and take it out, put it somewhere safe, and continue working, because I don't want it here and I bump into it and it rolls and then I have to start counting revolutions. All right, give me a second. All right, so I set it on a fender cover on the floor over there. All right, so now this tube, torque tube, I'm gonna call it a torque tube. I'm saying that now because I'm thinking what I'm about to say next about the malfunction that this torque sensor is experiencing. So basically, between this side of this steering input shaft and the output shaft there, this torsion sensor, this torque sensor, is measuring the difference in between the twist, and I guess that shaft is calibrated, so depending on the difference between the two numbers, it knows how much resistance the steering wheel is receiving and how much assist the motor needs to provide. Now, I think the reason why we're having an issue and why it's rattling back and forth is that there must be a dead spot somewhere in the torque sensor, since it's in a feedback loop, similar to, anybody ever heard of the HVAC system control actuators when they also start going bad, or automatic side view mirrors? When they have a dead spot, they rattle back and forth in between the spot that's bad. Now, I guess because of how much torque and how fast this motor has to respond, I guess if it does that enough, it shuts, disables the system, and if there's a fault. Here's a hack that I was thinking about if you don't have needle nose snap ring pliers. Needle nose pliers will do. It's kind of in there, and it's really, so safety glasses would be very, very, very well advised here. I'm going to get in on one side with this because snap rings have this habit. Once they've been sitting for a while, you could kind of let them snap, and a lot of times the other side will come loose, but this one wants to fight me. So needle nose pliers, long ones like this, if you have them, will work. Otherwise, readily available snap ring pliers will also work, but you want the biggest, heaviest, dutiest one you can get, because this guy seems like it's a handful. All right, let me get that out. All right, so it's not really terrible. Just like I said, if the bigger the pair of snap ring pliers you have, the better. This is about the size that are used on like SUV and truck wheel bearings. All right, so next to this guy. All right, so you can already see it's drooped down a little bit, getting ready to come out of there. Alright, pull that off. Set it aside here. Alright, and that is our torque sensor. Now I'm going to remove this little absorbent pad here. So it's supposed to, I believe, that's what I was made to believe, but I don't think I'm ever going to try and do that now. So this is indexed and splined here. I don't want to risk. Alright, let's stretch it over it. Because it came new and I really want to use it, but it looks like it's going to do a little bit more. Alright, then I want it to. Alright, so I've got my, it's not clipped into anything over there. Wishes it's clipped into the side of the motor there. Alright, let's do that. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys can see this here. I put gloves on because I saw the grease that's in here, but can you guys see this little snap ring? Yeah, I gotta get that out. So let's let me get my pick again, and then go over here and remove this. See if I can get in there with this. It's fighting me. I'm gonna get that undone from over there. Come on. See, I think what it wants to do, it wants to leave a mark. Alright. Let's see if we can coax this guy out. I'm not sure. I didn't look to see if the new one came with the replacement or not. There it is. Come on out of there. Good boy. Alright, so that's out. Gotta put this aside too. And then this is the cover, replacement cover piece that comes in the kit. Just goes around the wire like that. And the moment of truth, I've pulled the connector out of the side of the motor there. Alright, here's the part that we kind of don't want to mess with here. It's very important that this thing is indexed right. So I'll show you guys what I mean. This slot on the shaft and that arrow have to line up. Typically only goes one way, but that's probably where we're at. So now this I have to pry off of here. I'm going to use two hands for that because there's a lot that's back here that I'm not familiar with, so I want to make sure I do this right. So let me use two hands and then show you guys what I did. Okay, so with the judicious application of force, I pulled on the harness on that side and pried a little bit on this side, and all of a sudden it slid off. So let's help it the rest of the way out of there, because it seems like it's homesick now. Come on. I don't want to go. Yeah. Oh my gosh. What's happening? Yeah, this is unnecessary. Come on. Get out of there. Alright, here's our nemesis. Worm gear driven. Huh. Alright, so let's get our replacement one in here and go back together. Alright, so there's our sensor from before. Move this box out of my way. Sensor on the seat. Soft stuff. Kid gloves. Let me unwrap this thing. Alright, so got some saran wrap here. I'll be careful. I'm going to mention something that I heard. I'm going to repeat only because I think it's of importance. So this is a lock pin for this sensor. Alright, and you want to make sure that you do not remove it until you are done, seated and all that. Okay, it does come with a new circlip. That's great. Okay, so a lot of the videos I watched, guys were swapping these out of like salvaged units, and fortunately a few of those ended up still being bad. All right, so we need our new cover piece here. Gonna get that out, put it around the harness. Alright, so got it. Put it around the harness here. Okay, wish me luck. So the red dot right there and the arrow is supposed to line up with that slot exactly. So I'm going to tentatively, just so gingerly guide it down there. Alright, gingerly, I said gingerly, Alright. What part of gingerly is just foreign? Come on. It's interesting how. Alright. Alright. Seated there. Alright, unfortunately now, we have a little bit of a problem. I say we, me. Alright, so I'm not sure if it's, I feel like I'm all the way down. Alright. That's what that feels like. And here's my little alignment tool, and supposedly I'm supposed to put this on, alright, and it's supposed to be flush here, but oh, that's what I was worried about, if I could do it without removing the pin. And it is flush, baby. Let me bring you guys a better angle so you can see. Alright, that's almost a job well done. That's almost a job well done. With the idea being that if it's not flush like this, you won't be able to get that tube. I want to call it a torque tube because that's what it looks like, even though it might not be. But yeah. Okay. So, I think I'm going to be more comfortable with this job now if I put the harness where it goes, plug it in, get that done with, and then put the torque tube on, circlip back on. Alright, let me reach under here. That way, you know what, I want you guys to tag along. That way you guys will be a witness if I blow this, because everything's gone well so far. It'll just be a shame, won't it? You know, it's crazy. This didn't seem to be this much of a problem before. I don't know why it's giving me a hard time now. What do you think? I think I should investigate how this goes on. Hang on a second. Alright, here's a tip. When you guys go to do yours, wrap this around the connector as you go down. There's a tab on the end of it, right, that goes into a, you know, like a little recess, little slot in the housing back down there. And then this little lip goes under the connector. So it's easier if the connector is already situated in here. All right, like so. When you come on. All right, so it's better if it's situated like that when you go to push it in, because then the rubber piece is already down under there and slides right in with it. I didn't do that because of how easy this one came out, but you know, I got it in there. It's just, it's a blind thing there, and you're fighting it, and I was not taking this back out. Worst case scenario, that would have gone back in without the little boot. But all right, now I've got this connector to contend with, and like I said before, take you guys with me. That way I'll have a witness to the carnage if any ensues. I'm really nervous about that rubber boot because it's moving around a lot. I don't like it moving around a lot. I also don't like this connector fighting me to go where it needs to. Wow, just will not go back there. It just will not. It wills not, but I will it to do so. See that? See that? See that? All right, I want to plug that in. I'm not doing that. I need this cover back on. I'm getting a little anxious here. So what I'm going to do is pull this pin with my little absorbent ring. Slide the new absorber ring all the way down there. Come on. Alright, slide the absorber ring all the way down there. I'll pull the pin, put our torque tube on. Alright, pin's pulled. Where's my torque tube? Alright, slide that all the way on. Luckily, this doesn't seem to have any sort of indexing, so as long as it's flush, the snap ring will lock in behind it. Alright, need two hands again. Why? Alright, here we go. Alright, if there's a pro tip I can give anybody, get the biggest snap ring pliers you can get. And double up on the safety glasses. But anyway, that's in there. Alright, did I say I was going to plug that in? Yeah, because I got nervous. That boot was moving around. And alright, so let's get in here. My luck, I'm going to plug this harness and the cable in first. And then a little Christmas tree thing is going to be on the wrong side of history. Oh, come on. What are we doing down here? Let's plug that in. Come on, you're the only... It's the only house on the left. Well, the last house on the left anyway. Alright, let's do this. Push it in, lock it. And what did I say? Now this Christmas tree thing is pointing towards me. And kind of need it pointing the other way. Perfect, you guys can't even see it. There. Alright, I'm going to slide that in and then come out of here. Alright, this is taking a tad bit longer than I had anticipated, but the harness is secured now. Let me go grab the steering wheel, slide that joker on, bolt her back up. I need to get out of here. I'm done with this car already. Alright, that's not the best angle ever, but you guys are probably able to see what I'm about to do next. So. Come on. Alright, here we go. So steering column as removed. Alright. I won't lie, a little nervous here, but here goes nothing. Alright. Oh, come on. What is happening? Or not happening, as the case may be. I just look, these lines are right here. So, alright. What's happening? Whoa. Come on. What's happening? Go on. It shouldn't have been this hard. Alright. There you go. I feel like I'm off. I don't know. Well, something I do remember. Whoops. Alright. You guys can't see anything now, can you? Alright, well. All right, hang on. All right. I don't know, but I think I remember that a little bit more straight up and down, but okay. All right, maybe there's a tilt because it's drooping. All right, I got to get under here, start those bolts and tighten them, and then plug my connectors in. All right, so we're up, and I guess there was like a little tilt to the side when the lower part of the column was down. So when the upper part slid back on it, it looked like it was turned, but it wasn't. So I got the bolt started and torqued. Because this is an energy absorbing joint right there, it slides if you in an impact, if the driver hits the steering wheel, it's supposed to slide down, break away, so almost. So it's kind of critical that those are torqued to 20 foot-pounds. Any tighter, and obviously there'd be more resistance to sliding. But that's that. So now I guess I get to put my connectors back in their little loom here, and then slowly start to put the interior back together. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. I do recall a lot of these doodads just like to fight. I mean, I'm not going to call them non-essential, but since I'm not familiar with exactly how resilient they are to bending and whatnot, I don't want to break them. This takes a lot more effort. So be conscious about not damaging it. Okay, so there you go. You need to go in without bending pins. I seem to have some kind of luck. Blind connectors like that. Going in and screwing stuff up. All right, let's get this all together. Two more. I don't know what it is with newer Chevys and their entranceways. I'm sitting on the door sill and I can't get in. Oh, come on. Where is it? This one didn't have a lock, strangely enough. Alright, so I guess the rest is just reassembly. Put the clamshell covers back on, I think is what I did. And then put my bolster back in. Let me do them one at a time. I'm going to show you as I go. What good are tips if you keep them to yourself? So I don't know why I thought that trim went behind these ears. No, they go around them. So struggle with that for a little bit, and then now I'm looking at the top cover and just make sure that those little things go into the hooks that are back there. There are hooks. Hooks right here. See? Make sure they go on the hooks and this is not snap down. Let's see if I can practice what I preach. Come on. All right. Everybody's dancing all over the place again. This is what happened there. It's like it looks like it should go down one way and be easy, but no, it wants to fight. All right, it's on. Bolster's next, I believe. And then hangs on by a thread. Let's start these guys. Get it held up. All right. I guess I should turn the ignition on and see if this thing still gyrates. All right, because one of the loss of comm codes was loss of comm with the steering control module. I'm guessing that happens after it's decided to stop dealing with it. But I'm worried that I'm going to have something unplugged here that's going to code for something or other. Well, let's see. What else do I have unplugged here? I don't think I have anything else unplugged. All right, well, let's see. Should probably clear the malfunction lights so far. All right. Not fighting me. I got some, yeah, so it's not bouncing around anymore. All right, well, what I'm gonna do now, all right, so I'm gonna have to do the calibration procedure, and then, yeah, I'm gonna have to do the calibration procedure, because it did that all by itself just now. All right, let's get out of here. All right, so, it's the next day here. Come on, why won't it light up now? Don't I have enough juice? I have plenty of juice. What's happening? All right, I remember that happening last night, but apparently I can't zoom out, so and still have light. All right, so I'm not too happy with this little situation we have here. So when it shuts off, it wants to zero itself to center, and center is off center. Now, regardless of what tricks and tips I've gotten off the interwebs, one of the finalization procedures for this is to initialize it and calibrate it. So unfortunately, my Autel has that menu. I guess it's too old, or the version's too old. It just says it's doing it, but nothing happens. So I'm going to put this together and go get it calibrated. So what are we doing? I've got the bolster on. I think the next thing is to get that really tricky big panel here in there. That's probably why you don't stop working on these things mid-stride, so you don't forget where you're at. But let's get it here. Why did I feel like I just saw an easy pass? Yes, I did. All right, anyhow. All right, let's figure this out. That slides in there some kind of way. Yes, clippity clip clip. Bang bang. All right, and then now that that's clipped in, I'm trying to finagle this back onto its little peg. Maybe I shouldn't have put that on yet. I don't know. We'll see. All right, pause. A little twisting, shucking and jiving. I kind of got it over where it needs to be, but for whatever reason, I need to come up some. All right, yeah. Let's come up some more. Get it behind the bezel for the audio unit here. Yeah, it's not a one-handed job, because trying that way might break something. All right, let me get in here. All right, so that one goes down first. I guess in the audio bezel over top of it. Okay, that's done. And then this one, this side trim here, over there. Cool. So we got that all done. Bang these clips in. There's a connector over here that I gotta see to. Where is it? This guy. Okay. Oh, hang on. Something to mention when you're down here under the dash, please be careful. So all these rusty and whatever, these are stamped steel, and when they stamp them, that's how they get cut, and so the edges are razor sharp. Going in here all willy-nilly, that's another reason why there's a lot of trepidation and pause and caution when I'm under here, because you move too fast, you get frustrated, and you literally will need stitches. This is not a joke. It's just a word of caution. All right, so my trim pieces are almost all up. Now it's time to get junk out the way and start going to town with my 7mm and all these lovely 7mm bolts. All right, let me count them and see how many I have. Make sure I didn't forget anybody. All right, so the 2 screws that were back here, they went in. Slide the tabs for this trim piece under, and then it clips down. That's done. Don't forget the 1 screw that's in the corner here. Now, this one's a little tricky, the under panel over here, because I do remember, I think we took a harness out of here. I don't know if it's the DLC harness. Some harness that was dangling low. I would love to put it back. It would cooperate. Yeah, I think it was that guy. Don't know why all of a sudden now it's acting all brand new. That guy goes that way. That's a hard line. Huh, that's interesting. I don't see it anymore. Huh, that's interesting. Let's go under there and look. I found it. Of all things, it's the hood release cable. Like, okay, of all the rigidity we need to have. All right, anyway, just for identification purposes, see that stud that comes out there? This hole in the back of this panel has to line up on that first. Come on. All right. Some way I gotta get in here and see with you guys here, but that's the basic idea. Come on. I feel like I'm on the right track, but I can't see. Am I? Yes. All right. So I'm just going to clip these and bolt them on. All right. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see those 2, but put the camera under there. Those 2 are in. Put these 2 in. Put the trim piece on. And let's get out of here. Ah. Oh. A little cable. Huh. There you go. All right. Okay. I needed the swivel to get in here. That's what I was putting on. All right. That's that. Cool. And then I think my last, not my last. I haven't put that trim piece on yet, but same deal. Let's get over here. All right, so we're about to be done here, and then I have to get it programmed. See if I can't borrow a newer Octel. I was thinking about buying a Think car. See if that serves me well. They're affordable. Just gotta look at their reviews and their specs. All right, let's get in there. All right, that was painful, wasn't it? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tolerating my ranting and all the other discombobulated conversations we've been having. I'm gonna take my tools out of here, go get this initialized, and hopefully I remember to show you guys that. Alright, so it's almost 8 o'clock. I'm going to run by a buddy who's got a newer Autel than mine to initialize this thing. I will say that the car does pull to the right, and so I'm not sure if that's a consequence of this thing, because I did not drive the car before because of the absence of power assist, but it strongly feels, and don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm just going to say that I feel that the assist is a little less when you're turning left than when you're turning right, but comparing it to no assist, I don't know if I I noticed the difference before. So, and it's a consequence, I guess, of, I don't know if it's the, I remember reading something somewhere. I can't remember if it's improper installation or lack of initialization or calibration that would cause it to do that. So off we go. We're going to do that and hope for the best. All right, so I'm at 1% now, and my hand's not on the steering wheel. It's driving straight. Just left my buddy's house, used his Autel. He told me what number it was, but I forget now. And it was really simple. You just hit calibrate and it says in progress, and then complete and done. So I did the steering angle sensor, the torque input sensor, and then the tuning. And now the effort is even left to right. So I'm at 1% here.